Delivering factual information, discovering the truth of Filipino nation. This is Jamel Mendoza. And you're now tuning into Behind the Scene. Here are the latest and hottest topics on air. Maya, Finn, and Clovis shines their way as the journey to the river sees protagonist.
Carter's take over Maya's inheritance, leaving the poor girl penniless.
Author Eva Ibbotson emphasizes making up with life mistakes.
Right now, press freedom is an illusion.
And it sometimes looks like this.
Who leads the journey to the River Sea story adaptation? Behind the scene is Marc Burgos.
A 13-year-old girl, tragically orphaned after her parents' death, named Maya, is the protagonist of the story adaptation of The Journey to the River Sea, written by Eva Ibbotson. This poor girl has been sent from England to start a new life with distant relatives in Manaus, hundreds of miles up the Amazon. Manaus is home for the Carters, the antagonist of the story, who's responsible for Maya but ended up to care after the last inheritance. On her journey to the River Sea, Maya was supported and accompanied by her new tutor, Miss Minton. On the same boat, the young girl meets a frustrated child actor named Clovis King, who eventually become friends with her. At Amazon, Maya was introduced to the Carter twins, Gwendolyn and Beatrice, who later become the Cinderella's stepsisters of their own story. After quite some time, Maya discovers Finn, a boy whose life kind of similar to her. Stay tuned for more updates. This is Andrew Burgos, Behind the Scene.
Thank you, Andrew. Third-person point of view is said to be the POV of the story, as the narrator exists outside of the events of the plot itself. For the conflicts, behind the scene is Vanessa Cruz.
The third day of the Maya Fielding versus Clifford Carter trial wrapped up today at 5 p.m. inside the Manaus courtroom. The plaintiff, Miss Fielding, after being orphaned in Mayfair, England, traveled all the way to Manaus town in Brazil to live with the Carters, whom she is now suing for financial exploitation after claims of improper handling of her inheritance money. Just a while ago, we heard the testimony of the first witness to take the stand for Miss Fielding, which is Miss Minton, who traveled with Maya on her way to Amazon. Let's take a look at some of the highlights on the witness stand in one of the juiciest stories to come to this quiet town by the river ever since the denunciation of Arana's rubber company in 1908.
Miss Minton, can you tell us your relationship with the Carters and with Miss Fielding?
I served as the governess of the Carter family and was Miss Fielding's newly appointed tutor.
Miss Minton, do you think that the Carters took advantage of Miss Fielding for her money?
Yes, I believe so.
How do you say so?
They were coercing Maya for her money since Mr. Carter's rubber business is failing.
Can you please elaborate, Miss Minton?
Since Maya came, they had been able to pay the bill for the dressmaker and the twins' classes. They were also able to pay a portion of the wages of the rubber gatherers from Mr. Carter's business.
Minton testified that with the Carter's failing business, they used the stipend that Miss Fielding's parents left with her through Maya's lawyer, Mr. Murray. With several months of exploitation, it is unsurprising if Miss Fielding may begin to feel that she cannot stand living with the Carters for much longer, especially after this trial is concluded. Tune in with us tomorrow for more updates regarding the Maya Fielding versus Clifford Carter trial. Angeline Aala, behind the scene.
Thank you, Vanessa. Accountability highlighted on the journey to the River Sea story. Stay with us as we'll be back after a short break.
Palang tayo sa exciting part.
Sa Mayo 9, gaganapin ang Halalan 2022, kung saan ito ang magiging panahon para magluklok ng panibagong mamumuno sa bansa sa parehong lokal at pambansang pamahalaan.
Ayon sa COMELEC o Commission on Elections, mayroong halos 65 million registered voters sa Pilipinas at halos 56 million dito ay mga kabataang Pilipino. Crucial kung maituturing ang eleksyong ito kumpara sa mga nagdaang halalan, lalo pat pandemic at economic recovery ang nakasalalay sa bawat boto ng mamamayan. Tandaan, dahil sa patuloy pa ring banta ng COVID-19, mas kakaiba ang magiging daloy ng eleksyon ngayong taon. Magtungo lamang sa www.comelec.com.ph para sa iba pang mga detalye.
Bukas sa mga voting precinct mula alas 6 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi. Palaging tandaan, mga ka-behind the scene, panatilihin nating marangal at malinis ang halalang ito para sa hinahangad natin, gobyernong tapat.
As we earth in the story adaptation of The Journey to the River Sea by Ibbotson, theme, message, and life lessons are brought clear enough to the table. Behind the scene is Aeron, Franco, and Eunice Magnaye.
Promoting equity among different classes in the society. As different kinds of people have their own ideals and beliefs, 3 royal family members from Europe and Southern America started a societal movement. By doing so, the royal family starts spreading the lessons that they learned all throughout their journey.
What has stuck with me is this: each individual must be responsible for their own actions, and I stand with that.
Each individual must be responsible for their own actions and understand how this action affect the environment. Said by a reader. This was her take from the said story, adaptation from The Journey to the River Sea by Ibbotson. She goes on to say that accepting responsibility for your actions implies the realization that you have a role in every situation and thus have some degree of control over the consequences. You may have heard it referred to as accountability. Additionally, explaining that the first reaction of a mistake is made or a conflict arises is not to blame others, make excuses, twist the facts, or outright lie.
Instead, you quickly acknowledge that there is a problem. You identify a role in it and implement a plan of action to eliminate the possibility of it happening again. This is Eunice Magnaye, behind the scene.
And that's it for the latest stories today.
Join us again next time as we give you news behind the scene.
To unbiased stories, I say yes. This is Jenric.
To deliver factual news is the agenda. I am Jamal Mendoza, and this is Behind the Scene.